Hey, it's Keisha. Welcome and welcome back. We're on our next reading in Ask and It Is Given. It's pages 127 to 139. So before we begin, let us begin by first closing our eyes, taking a deep breath in, and letting it out. Another deep breath in and out. And just begin to feel yourself more present in this space. Begin to collect your thoughts in your mind. Gently and lovingly recall all of the parts of you back to yourself. Feel yourself now more whole, more present. If you have any cares, concerns, or worries, just gently set them aside in a basket outside of yourself. And see the basket being gently whisked away in the ethers, trusting that the issues will be taken care of in their right and perfect way, in the right and perfect time, and return to you complete, or as guidance to know your next step, but trusting ultimately that it is done and it is peacefully unfolding. And now turn your attention back to yourself, more present, more full, whole. Notice how you are already at peace. Now see a column of white light gently descend down over you. Breathe in that light. Feel it quickening the cells of the body. Feel it filling the space between the cells. You are now infused with light, inside out. Every part of you light and radiant and whole. And now gently lift up in that column of light. Lift up higher and higher. Out of physical consciousness, out of worldly and earthly concerns. Lifting up into that space of purity, of oneness, of knowing. Feel divine substance all around you, all around your divine substance. Feel potential in the ethers. Creativity coming into form simply by thought. Feel how easy it is to be, to do, and to create. And now that you've remembered your divinity, find your place in the sacred grove. Your heart and your mind open, ready to receive. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. It's available to us all the time. Starting with page 127. So we're now introducing the 22 processes that we'll be working on as we move through the rest of the book. So now that you've made it this far into the book, you have been reminded of many things that you've always known. You now remember that you are an extension of source energy and that you have come into your physical body, into this leading edge of time-space reality, for the purpose of joyously taking thought beyond that which it is known before. You now remember that you have a guidance system within you that helps you to know in every moment how much of your connection to that which is your source you are right now allowing. You now remember that the better you feel, the more you are in alignment with who you really are, and the worse you feel, the more you are disallowing that important connection. You now remember that there is nothing that you cannot be, do, or have. You remember that if your dominant intention is to feel good, and that if you try to make the best of where you are, you must reach your natural state of joy. You now remember that you are free. In fact, you are so free that you could choose bondage, and that everything that comes to you is in response to the thoughts you are thinking. You now remember that whether you are thinking about your past, present, or future, you are offering a vibration that equals your point of attraction. You now remember that the law of attraction is always fair, and there is no injustice. For whatever is coming to you is doing so in response to the vibrations that you are offering due to the thoughts that you are thinking. And most important, you now remember that well-being is the basis of your world, and that unless you are doing something that is disallowing it, then well-being is your experience. You may allow or resist it, but only a stream of wellness, abundance, clarity, and all good things that you desire flows. And you now remember that there is no dark switch. There is no source of evil or source of sickness or lack. You may allow or you may resist well-being, but everything that happens to you is all you're doing. If your current life is pleasing to you in every way, then you may have no reason to read, or in this case, listen further. However, if there is something about your life that you wish to improve, perhaps something missing that you would like to include, or something unwanted that you would like to release, the following processes will be of immense value to you. Your habit of resistant thought is the only thing that ever keeps you from allowing the things you desire. And although you certainly did not intentionally develop these resistant patterns of thought, you did pick them up along your physical trail, bit by bit, experience by experience. But one thing is very clear. If you do not do something that causes a different vibrational offering, then nothing in your experience can change. The processes on the following pages have been designed to help you gradually release any patterns of resistance. And in the same way that you did not develop your resistant patterns all at once, you will not release them all at once. But you will release them, process by process, game by game. And so we use the word game interchangeably with the word process. And day by day, you will gradually but steadily return to being a person who allows your own natural well-being to flow to you. Those who observe you will be amazed at the things that they begin to see happening in your experience, and that the joy you will obviously be radiating. And you will explain, with the confidence and certainty that you are born with, I have found a way to allow the well-being to flow that is natural to me. I have learned to practice the art of allowing. Now at that point, I want to just stop for just a second and detour from the book to share with you some thoughts that I had while reading that section. And this is where I would say to you, instead of rushing to exclaim, you found the way, simply let them observe. With all these new things that would be happening, of course, if you need to talk about these things that are happening to you and for you, I say get a journal. And you should probably do that anyway, because that's the best record of what you're thinking and feeling. And if you must talk about it with people who are in this community, who are practicing these same things in the same way that you're practicing them. And it might be difficult to understand or to see in this moment what I'm referring to, but not everyone who says they love you is for you. And you need discernment, because it's not uncommon when you begin to practice these new practices and have these new experiences and new ways of being, you are initiating your own growth. And those who are closest to you may be thrown off by your growth and feel threatened by those positive changes that you're making, because they will look at you and say, we are alike, we're the same, we're of the same cloth, yet you're experiencing a better life than I am because, you're doing something different. And what you're doing is threatening me because I'm remaining in the same place, because by choice I have not chosen to engage and grow. And that can be very upsetting to people. And rather than looking within themselves to see what they can do within themselves to grow themselves, they will look at you and try to hinder you. And that's difficult, especially when it comes from someone who has said that they love you and someone who says they're your friend. And so that's why I caution you at the beginning of these processes to enjoy the fullness and the richness of it, sure. Keep a journal to record your thoughts and your feelings. Share it with those who are of like-minded in this community. But be discerning in who you share the information with about what you're doing. That is until you get far enough along in your process that no one's questions or judgment can knock you off your foundation in faith. It's better to keep a tight circle in the beginning and speak not about your plans and even your processes until you have a firmer handle on them, or the thing is done and the results speak for themselves. That's just my bit of experience and wisdom to share with you on that. Back to the book. So it is with tremendous enthusiasm and powerful expectation that we offer the processes that follow. When you have time, we encourage you to read through each process without actually performing the action that's suggested. As you read through the processes, they will hold an immediate value for you. You will feel a strong impulse to perform them. You may earmark those that you feel the enthusiasm towards. Then, when you have time to perform the processes, begin with the one for which you felt the most enthusiasm. This is the best place for you to start. Actually, you could choose any process at random, perform it, and receive notable benefits from it. For every process in this book will assist you in releasing resistance and raising your vibration. However, the power of your desire and the degree of your current resistance does make certain processes of greater value to you right now than others. As you read through these processes and the examples of the applications provided, you may recognize that something similar is happening in your own life, and so you may benefit from applying the same processes. However, because your own life offers a broad spectrum of experiences as well as a broad spectrum of emotions, there are no hard and fast rules about which specific process is best for you to apply to which specific experience right now. So if you're watching this while you're reading the book, this is excellent guidance. But because time as we are experiencing is linear and my audience needs the order of me going in order, I'll be going in the order in which the book presents them. And so we'll be doing the processes in the order that the book gives them. But you can always, so if you're watching these videos as I release them, then we'll be going in order. But if you are just picking and choosing which videos you want to watch when, there may be some that resonate more with you at a certain time than others. And in that case, do what makes sense for you when you feel like it. Some of the process will assist you in focusing your desire more clearly, causing your point of attraction to be stronger. But if for whatever reason you're in the midst of offering a great deal of resistance, then a process that would cause you to summon even more energy could actually be counterproductive to you. In that case, what I recommend is taking a step back and asking why you're feeling that particular resistance. Ask what it has to teach you, what truth it can reveal to you that's now ready for healing. An example that I can give you from my own experience in this is that in regards to, for instance, manifesting money. I had been thinking about manifesting money and some of the things I'd like to do with it. And part of that was going to be sharing with people in my community. And I noticed in thinking about what I wanted to do and who I wanted to give to, negative thoughts of resistance were coming up. And rather than stopping the process of, okay, I'm not going to try to manifest now, I'm going to put this off to the side and come back to it when I feel better, I decided to delve more deeply into those negative thoughts. And so I started to question them. Why are you coming up? What truth do you have to reveal to me? What does that really say about what I'm thinking and who I'm thinking about and what I'm thinking about doing? And as I delved more deeply into those questions and started to, uncover what was really going on inside of me and what I really thought, then I was able to heal and resolve those negative thoughts and emotions, such that when I went back to the manifesting process, those thoughts were lessened or they weren't present at all. And as they lessened in intensity and their number, I was able to gauge, I'm making progress, right? So I didn't necessarily stop the manifestation process, but if you recognize you can't manifest something in love when you're offering up a vibration that's not like love, then it makes sense to examine those emotions and resolve them so that you can allow and you let go of that resistance. And this is what, people will call shadow work. You're going into, because you don't want to admit something negative about yourself to the general public, right? Those are the things we keep hidden. That's the shadow. So by exploring those negative thoughts and emotions and working to heal them, resolve them in whatever process or way makes the most sense for that emotion at that time, you are resolving those aspects of shadow. Shadow work would need to be done anyway. It's better to go ahead and heal it when it comes up, as opposed to trying to do these other more bright and fantastical processes, not experiencing success, and then feeling like, oh, that stuff doesn't work. It didn't work for me. It didn't work because you weren't willing to go on the backside of, the dark side of the moon, as it were. So we start the process because we want to go towards the light, but that light is going to reveal a certain darkness. You need to explore that darkness and resolve it, bring light to it, so that then you can be in the fullness of light. Some of the processes are oriented towards specific life experiences, such as increasing your financial or physical well-being. But the majority of these processes can be successfully applied to any situation. So, as you feel guided, use them for that particular instance. It is our absolute promise to you that your life will improve with the application of these processes, for you cannot apply the process without improving the way you feel. And you cannot improve the way you feel without releasing resistance and thereby improving your point of attraction. And when you improve your point of attraction, the law of attraction must bring circumstances, events, relationships, experiences, sensations, and powerful evidence of your shift in vibration. That is the law. That's what law is. It's unchanging. It's principle, right? Some of these processes will become your favorites. Some you will want to utilize every day. Some you may never use. Some you may use at first and then no longer find necessary. And some you will resurrect when special circumstances arise. It is our desire that you comfortably begin to utilize these processes, for it is our knowing that they will positively change your life experience. From our perspective, they have been designed for the powerful reason of helping you realign with the energy that is really you. And in that process, you will return to your natural joy. Oh, and yes, there will be the added side benefit of helping you achieve anything you have ever desired. Your emotions are essential to your conscious control of your own experience. And of course, they are essential to the maintenance of a happy life experience. In the same way that you would not deaden your fingertips to desensitize them to heat, or put a happy face sticker on the dashboard of your vehicle to cover the fuel gauge indicator because you don't like seeing that you're out of fuel, you do not want to mask your own feelings, pretending to feel different from how you really feel. For pretending in this way does nothing to change your vibrational point of attraction. The only way you can do so is change your vibrational offering. And when you do change your vibrational offering, the way you feel changes too. When you remember an incident from a past experience, you are focusing energy. When you are imagining something that may occur in your future, you're focusing energy. And of course, when you're observing something in your now, you're focusing energy. It makes no difference whether you are focusing on the past, present, or future. You are still focusing energy. And your point of attention or focus is causing you to offer a vibration that is your point of attraction. So when you spend time pondering, remembering, and imagining something, a vibration is activated within you. If you return to that thought, you again activate the vibration. The more often you revisit the thought, the more familiar the vibration becomes, and the easier it is for you to activate it until eventually it becomes a dominant vibrational pattern within you. And as it plays a larger role in your vibrational pattern, things that match it begin to show up in your experience. So just from that alone, I want you to recognize that when you spend time in worry, you're spinning thoughts about an outcome you don't want to receive. But every time you spend time thinking about that thing you don't want to receive, you're offering up a vibrational match to it. And the more that you come back to it, the more that you talk about that thing with other people and you get all in those emotions, you are setting up a vibration of matching that energy, right? So it makes sense to be consciously aware, thoughtful, and to actively choose the thoughts that you are focusing on. So if you're remembering a past memory of something that's positive, then you're offering up a positive vibration that's likely going to be in relationship to you and other people in an experience that you had. Well, that's a positive vibration, so you can imagine that you're setting up the opportunity for more positive experiences that are in vibrational match to that vibration. But likewise, if you're spending time ruminating about something bad that happened or that you don't want to happen, you are also offering up a vibration, in which case you are setting up a stream on which that negative experience can occur. So ultimately, it just pays to be consciously aware of your thoughts and your emotions and what you're sending out, because it is the moment of now and the vibrations that you're offering and the emotions that you're offering that sets up these future experiences. And if there's nothing else that's clear, I hope that is, because that's the crux on which all of this moves. Okay. And so there are two surefire ways to understand what your vibration is offering. Notice what is happening in your experience. For what you focus upon and what is manifesting are always a vibrational match. And notice how you feel, because your emotions are giving you constant feedback about your vibrational offering and your point of attraction. And I'll say this about your emotions. You do need to feel them. This does not mean that when you feel bad and you notice you feel bad, you instantly need to try to make yourself feel good. Or call up a friend to deny that emotion and move into something positive. Your emotions are present for a reason. And so I would say, rather than try to rush to move to a better feeling one, assess where you are. And if it's a negative emotion, then again, look at why you're feeling that and start to question it. Because oftentimes when you start to question why you're feeling that way, you recognize that it's not based in anything that's real or true. It's like, if you were with me when we were reading the Aquarian, Jesus is in the test at Heliopolis, and he thinks he's been bound by chains and thrown into a dark room. And he remembers himself that he is the light, and that light brightens the room that he's in. And he looks down at these, what he thought were chains, and realized they're just vines, and he's able to easily break them. That's what questioning your emotions can do for you, especially when you're in the throes of negative ones. Because it's usually born of a misconception or misinterpretation or misunderstanding. And if you can vigorously question your emotions, that can be a way to help you move from a point of negative emotion to a more positive one. So we're not rushing to get rid of them right away. You want to be with them long enough to examine them and to dispel them. Okay. The most satisfying aspect of deliberate creation comes from being sensitive to the way the thoughts you are thinking feel. For then it is possible to modify a bad feeling thought to one that feels better, and to thereby improve your point of attraction before something unwanted manifests. It is far easier, before an unwanted physical manifestation appears, to deliberately change the direction of your thought to something that feels better. You will come to understand that deliberate creation is about deliberately guiding your thoughts in good feeling directions. There is even some satisfaction to be found in recognizing that not so good feeling thought and then observing the not so good manifestation that must follow. For now, your conscious awareness of the powerful law of attraction will give you the feeling of control. Without making the correlation between your thoughts and feelings and manifestations that are occurring, you have no conscious control over what is happening in your experience. Most people offer the majority of their thought vibrations in response to something they are observing. When they observe something wonderful, they feel wonderful. When they observe something awful, they feel awful. But they believe that they have no control over how they feel because they realize that they cannot control the circumstances that they have observed. Many people spend the majority of their lives attempting to control circumstances because they believe that in the controlling of the circumstance, they will feel better. But no matter how much control they gain over the actions of others, it is never enough because there is always another uncontrollable circumstance, and people are innumerable variables. You can't control all of them. You cannot control another person. Right? We have no creative power within the lives of others, for they are offering their own vibrations, which equal their own point of attraction, just as you are offering your own vibrations, which equal your own point of attraction. So many say, once that condition changes, I will feel better. When I have more money or move into a better house or find a better job or a better mate, then I will feel better. We do not disagree that it does feel better to observe something that is pleasing rather than something that is not. But that is still going about it in a very backwards way. Deliberate creation is not about the condition changing and then you finding a better feeling in response to the changed condition. Deliberate creation is about choosing a thought that feels good when you choose it, which then causes the condition to change. For example, unconditional love is really about wanting so much to remain in connection with your source of love that you deliberately choose thoughts that allow your connection, no matter what the manifestations may be happening nearby. And when you're able to control your point of attraction by deliberately choosing better feeling thoughts, the conditions that surround you have to change. The law of attraction says they must. And it's difficult when, people want to say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. You first need to see it up here, and those beliefs will attract to you the thing in the outer, right? So it's not about, so if, for instance, taking the example that they gave about, I'll feel better when I have a better job. If you're looking at the conditions of your current job and all the things, and you're always seeing and talking about the things within it that are negative, then you're going to be experiencing more of what is negative about that experience, right? What you focus on expands. But if if at the same time you're trying to look for a better job, if you're offering up the vibration of negativity based on the current job where you are, then by the law, what you'd be manifesting would be negative. So it might be another job, but it would have the same negative aspects that you would previously experience. Wherever you are, wherever you go, there you are. And if you are focusing on the negative, you're going to be taking that negative into the next experience or experiencing the same negativity because that's what you're focusing on. So I would say in that example, you would want to start to find points of agreement where you can be positive about the job and focus on those positive aspects. So for instance, well, I don't like the job and I don't think it pays very much. That's going to be a negative thought that you're setting up the vibration of receiving another job that doesn't pay very well. But if you can say, well, the benefit of this job is that it's letting me pay my bills. That's a more positive thought. And what joy do you have in being able to pay your bills on time, in full, and in peace, right? So now you're offering up a more positive vibration that sets up a positive opportunity for manifestation, or an opportunity for positive manifestation. So by noticing that difference, you have gained control over the situation. The situation that you're currently in with the negative job hasn't changed, but your perspective on it has. And that's what needs to change first in order for you to manifest a better job experience. Okay. Some say, all this stuff about deliberate creation sounds simple enough, but why am I having so much difficulty in doing it? Why do I have such a hard time controlling my thoughts? It feels like my thoughts are in charge. It feels like my thoughts are thinking themselves. Well, remember that the law of attraction is a powerful law, and that it is not possible for you to find or hold a thought if your current vibrational set point is very different from that thought. You only have access to thoughts whose vibrations are somewhere in your current vibrational range. There are those times when friends can prod or tease you into a better feeling thought, but at other times their prodding or teasing just makes you feel worse. Any success they may have had in helping you feel better has been, for the most part, about how far out of alignment you already were. Because while it's easy to make small vibrational jumps, it is difficult or even impossible to make large ones. So any point of shift that you can make, no matter how small, will be to your advantage. And sometimes you are in a space where that incremental, that small jump makes the world of difference, like a huge difference. But sometimes just that incremental step requires another incremental step before you're able to get to, that greater sense of allowing. But all progress is progress. All progress is progress. Okay. The most important thing we want you to realize is that it does not matter how good you feel or how fast you feel it. The only thing that matters is that you consciously discover some relief, and that you understand that your relief has come in response to some deliberate effort you have offered. The purpose of each process is to raise your vibrational frequency, to release your resistance, to find the relief from resistance, to create an improved feeling, or to improve your emotional set point. We use the words process, technique, or game interchangeably because these are powerful processes that will assist you in achieving anything you desire if you will take a playful approach to them. You will hold far less resistance than if you see them as tools to fix something that is broken. The key to success that you will find in these processes actually hinges on your ability to release resistance. And the more playful you are, the less resistance you hold. And there we have our reading for this section. Yay! I can't wait to see what's next. I will see you soon. And I love you in the meantime. Bye.